Hello, everybody. My name is Kazm Vulfhart, aka King Kazm, whatever you want to call me, and welcome back to Pokemon Violet, the Bug Type Dream Run. I'm realizing I really should have done this as I played through the game, but it just would have been a lot of walking back and forth and checking to see if anything is new. So, doing it all at the end, while it does kind of slow things down just a little bit, I think it might actually be kind of good, because this kind of follows the formula of the only thing that I'm drawing the only thing I'm drawing a parallel to, but I know there are plenty of other things, is it's a common thing in video games, but to give a proper example is a concert, rave, or it's basically just concerts or raves mostly. But you basically have a lot of hype in a decent amount of time, and then what you do is you have calmer-ish songs to give people a break so that they're not dancing themselves to death. Or celebrating to death, or, all that stuff. Sure, let's have a battle. Oh, right, we skip over our battles. Oh my goodness, she's aware of it! She is self-aware! We have a problem. Nemona is self-aware! But, I'm sorry, my left eye is burning, so I'm having an issue focusing. But it's common in raves, and I know for a fact it's also common in video games, where you will have a run of exciting things happening, things that have got your focus, that are catching your attention, all that fun stuff. And then you have a lull. You have a lull before I can go back here. I have played both games for a very long time. I did not know I could go back here. I thought I was off limits. Okay. I want to touch on something that entire ordeal pinged into my head. So, Nemona is currently dealing with what I would consider... How do I want to say this? She's too powerful for people to want to fight her. An example of this... Okay, a good example of this would be to say... I'm just gonna have to give an example here. Goku wants to enter in a tournament. Everybody knows who Goku is. It's a martial arts tournament, obviously. Nobody wants to fight Goku, so they all surrender. And Goku wins. If you know what Dragon Ball Z is, and you know what Goku is, rest in peace, Toriyama, you understand that that's a problem for Goku, because Goku likes to fight. Goku wants to fight and have good battles with people. she's okay. So this is what I was trying to get at. She doesn't fully realize what's going on. I was going to touch on it, but she did just point it out. The people are are having the mindset of, what's the point? I'll lose anyways. First and foremost, in my opinion, that kind of behavior, it's both smart and stupid at the same time. Here's how it's stupid. With that kind of attitude, I can't win. There's no point. That kind of attitude is defeatist and it's stupid. Always, whenever you have a thought like that, force yourself to add the word yet. I'm not strong enough. I can't beat you yet. I'm sorry, my left eye is burning like a fucking wildfire and it's bothering me. God! But you should never have a defeatist attitude just because you're... And I actually am pausing this one on purpose this time because I want it to be known what the topic still is. Because she's bringing up a great point. You should never give up on a dream, a task, a goal, any of that. Just because you fail, just because you're not strong enough. If someone looks at you and says, but inversely, if someone looks at you and says, bench press this 500-pound weight, and you know that your limit is 350, saying you're not strong enough at that point is a smart thing. Because first off, the person is trying to humiliate you, is trying to hurt you in a way. So saying no and not trying to prove them wrong and just moving on with your life is a way of winning. And a way to show, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not strong enough. I probably might not ever be strong enough to deal with 500 pounds. I don't know. I personally am not a bench presser or a weightlifter or do gym stuff. I know it's healthy for you. I just... money and time. And also I'm socially inept. But I wouldn't go to a gym and listen to somebody telling me to lift a weight out of my strength limit, out of my class. I wouldn't go to a quiz show or I wouldn't go to an intellectual college and make a fool of myself trying to pretend that I am knowledgeable of a topic I'm not knowledgeable about. I wouldn't go to a gaming competition and be bragging about my skills that I clearly don't have if it's a game I'm not good at. And nobody should be like that. Nobody should try to be that way. But having the inverse effect, her mentality, having the defeatist mentality, will hold you back beyond belief and will make it so that you can't be that way. By saying that I'm not strong enough, I can't lift this, you're putting in your head you can't do it. But the thing is, you can, just not yet. You can't beat Nemona, you're not strong enough yet. You can't answer these questions, you're not smart enough yet. You can't be good at this game, you don't have the practice in yet. The thing about getting better at something is it takes both time, effort, and the mentality to want to do it. So telling yourself you can't do it will flick the switch in your head saying you don't want to do it. Telling yourself that you can't do it yet will flip the switch in your head to say, I'm going to get there. That's why whenever you play games like roguelikes, that's whenever you're going to the gym, pace yourself, but always having the mentality, I'll get there, I'm not there yet. And I've rambled on about this topic long enough for my Switch to almost fall asleep. But let me get to the final point of this. Nemona is technically right. You can have fun in a battle, even if you're losing. You can have fun at the gym, even if you're not the strongest there. You can have fun in an intellectual space, even if you're not the smartest one there. You just gotta know how. And a big part in knowing how to have fun in losing isn't just a mentality thing on you, it's a mentality thing on the people you do it with. As an example, I am a nerd. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. I used to go to tournaments weekly. I genuinely didn't like the tournaments that much. I really didn't. Because the tournaments were always the same thing. The same 3 deck archetypes, the same 3 strategies, just people playing to win. There is nothing wrong with having the mentality of playing to win. There is everything wrong with the mentality of only playing to win. Yes, winning is fun. Yes, losing sucks. But we have gotten it through our heads that losing is the ultimate failure, and we are not to like be viewed as anything more than utter trash because we fail and because we lost. And we have also conditioned ourselves that if we win, we are top of the board, we are top of the class, we are the best of the best. There is no one better than us. And both mentalities are stupid. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm a big fan of hating on ego. I don't like ego. I'm very curious. That's Pokechow. I actually am surprised that her room is tidy. I don't expect it to be as messy as Penny's. But I did expect it to be a little bit messier. At least with, like, some training gear or something like that. I noticed. Genuinely, I think out of the 3, friend arcs after the game is over, Nemona's probably is the one you can gather the most self-worth from when you think about it. And Nemona is one of the people that I don't hate for you. So, how do I want to put this? To me, Nemona is a person that would use meta, which, if you don't know what meta is, it is the go-to for win. It's the always winning strategy. It's what everybody uses to basically win. And it usually is the theme that dominates whatever you're a part of. Like, there's winning strategies, there's winning archetypes, there's winning decks and Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, all that stuff. Pokemon has meta. Meta is everywhere. You can't get rid of it. There's no way to get rid of it. But actually, there's a way to manipulate it. Let me put it that way. And that's buffing what needs to be buffed. Don't nerf everything, just buff what needs to be buffed. If you are a game dev and you find that is deving MMOs and stuff like that, and you find everybody's using the same type of weapon, and you don't want them to be using the same type of weapon, don't nerf the weapon they're using. Buff everything else. Give people a reason to use the other weapons that isn't harming the weapon that everybody likes or is using to win. But Nemona is the type of person to use meta without being toxic about it. She's giving her all, putting in 100% of her effort, and it's refreshing and it's healthy. Because this is Pokechow, right? I mean, she is right. But this is why she's a healthy person to be around. Yes, her being battle crazy, we'll put it that way, is somewhat exhausting, but it doesn't wear down. Namely because in the game we get a lot of breaks from it. I need to start attending classes. Okay, I'm not dealing with the math lady. That's gonna bother the crap out of me. Right. Okay, Salvatore's languages. I want to see the home ec teacher. Saguaro. If I pronounce that wrong, I apologize. Saguaro. But, Nemona, like I said, Nemona's the type of person to use meta in a healthy way. Yes, she will more than likely win, but she will be nice about it. She won't be toxic, egotistical. She won't be indifferent. She will be playing to win, but she will be playing to win in a more fun way. Winning isn't the only thing to her. It's the act of battling alone, is what I'm trying to say. This man is an absolute unit. I'm always a fan of the buff guy with like a more softer, caring side. I've always been a huge fan of that kind of character. And that's what I enjoy about characters. Like, that's something that I enjoy. Like, I like tropes. I like certain tropes. A lot of people like tropes. It's how, like, we enjoy characters that are all the same. One of my favorite tropes is the buff character, the super strong character, the overpowered character is caring and gentle and doesn't want to be a overpowered douchebag, but at the same time will fucking be an overpowered douchebag if he absolutely needs to. I'm also a huge fan of the villain who is super powerful but also extremely caring and wants nothing more than to be a good person to the people around. Like, if you don't know the full story of Von Doom, research Von Doom, the Marvel villain. Research him, and you'll see why he is actually one of my favorite villains in the Marvel universe. But I don't want to stray too far from like the meta stuff. What must you keep in mind to receive even more helpful? So choice of filling and condiments. Although I do like that last answer too. I gotta put my everything into it. You can technically taste food, food tastes different when it's cooked by somebody actually caring about what they're doing. And it's such a weird phenomenon when you think about it. And I think what actually is happening is that we are very well aware. If we care about what we're cooking, or baking or making, we're more aware of how we're making it. And that's why it tastes different, feels different, looks different, all that stuff. We are subconsciously aware of it, so our bodies are acting to make it the best it can be. And that's why a lot of chefs and stuff like that can somehow like make the same thing, but one person will always taste better, even though they use the same quality ingredients and stuff like that, and act almost exactly the same. Like it genuinely is a subconscious level of caring and working harder to get it done. And I'm going off of the topic again. Damn it! But the biggest issue with Nemona's situation is that, yes, she is the most powerful trainer in the school, arguably. Not counting the player character. Okay, good, I can talk now. But what gets me is that people use that as an excuse not to battle her, even though that's half of what dealing with Pokemon actually is. I mean, it's not exactly half, but it's you understand what I hope you understand what I'm saying about that. Like, they're using it as an excuse not to participate and potentially learn, because that's another thing. You technically learn a lot more in failure than you do in success. So, okay, so give an example. I think it was Thomas Edison. He failed almost 1,000 times to make a light bulb. This is the story that I've heard and I'm using. I know for a fact that there are some stories going around about how Edison stole stuff. I don't know if that's true or not. He's not around for me to tell me. Operating under the assumption that he didn't steal the light bulb, just as an assumption. Please don't kill me in the comments. Operating under the assumption he did create it without any stealing or anything like that. He failed about 1,000 times not to make the light bulb until he finally succeeded. He said, a quote that I'm vaguely remembering and probably paraphrasing is that he didn't fail 1,000 times not to make a light bulb. He learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And what's interesting about that statement when you think about it is that what discoveries were made, what interactions were discovered in those 1,000 failures. Because that's actually how science works a lot of the time. Sometimes, when you fail, you succeed by accident. I'm trying to remember, but I'm struggling at the moment, which sucks because science is one of my favorite subjects. Mainly biology, but you know what I mean. And I'm failing to remember if there are any inventions that were created like, I know there were inventions created purely by accident, like nobody meant to make them, but they still exist. And they're everyday inventions that we use, and I cannot remember what they are for the life of me. Screw it, we're Googling! I don't like that I type in accidental, and immediately after that, it was drug overdoses. 10 major breakthroughs that were happy accidents. I see one of these, at least, that is not a happy accident. Or the fact that it exists shouldn't be a happy accident. Technically, two. Excuse me a second, I must blow my nose. I have blown my nose. I can breathe again. Okay. 10 major breakthroughs that were somewhat happy accidents. The first one on the list is insulin. That's right. That drug that you were using to keep yourself alive because you might be diabetic or some other reason, that was a happy accident. Nobody meant to make that. It just, somebody was doing a thing, and it occurred. I won't get into the detail. I mean, I might get into the details later. I might actually read this article because it seems pretty cool. Another happy accident. This is something we use a lot of. X-rays. You know, I'm realizing without, like, how they're happy accidents, it doesn't really, like... This man has streaks of blue in his hair. I just now noticed. Or wait, that might be the lighting. As we get closer to his head, it's the lighting. But yes, X-rays are happy accidents. Radioactivity was a happy accidental discovery. Discovery, not invention, because I'm pretty sure radioactivity is a thing that occurs naturally in the world. I think humans, like, put off natural radiation, which is weird. Penicillin is another one. The Deinonychus, one of my absolute favorite feathered dinosaurs, is a happy accident breakthrough. This is the one that I don't think is very, just a really good happy accident. LSD. How is that a happy accident? I mean, I get it, it's a major breakthrough, but, like, isn't it bad? Like, isn't that one of the drugs that people get, like, OD on a lot? Superglue is another one. Superglue is a happy accident made by science. And the pacemaker. So, of those 10, 4 of those... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Roughly 5 or 6 of them is something that helps with humanity. I'm reading this, give me a second. Items on the ground. I want to make sure I read that right. But yes, this is why don't be afraid to fail. You might accidental into something great. Don't fail on purpose either, though. Like, try and reach your goal, but if you fail, take everything you learn from the failure and see what you can do with it. This is why I always tell people, like, failure is probably just as good as success, if not more. Now, granted, yes, there are situations where that is not the case, and I've known a lot of people who are just like, well, no, that's not true, and they, like, get snarky about it and stuff like that because they're being smartasses. I am friends with a lot of smartasses. A lot of these people that were smartasses to me, though, in this regard, were not really my friends afterwards, but for different reasons. It's not because of the smartassery, it's just because some of them didn't really mature. Some of them lost touch with me. Just a lot of stupid shit. But, yeah, it's... I know that there are situations where failures are really bad. Failure to keep a nuclear reactor from going critical, that's a bad thing. Failure to help transplant, or failure to successfully transplant a heart or close off a vein or something like that, costing a life. Yeah, that's not anything good. But, like, the topic is failure of trying. And as dark as this is going to sound, if you fail to save somebody's life because of a mistake that you made, as morbid as this sounds, you can still use that failure to save another life down the line. Yes, it's traumatizing. As somebody who's experienced it, yes, it's the worst, one of the worst feelings in the world that you can ever feel. to feel like you could have done more, but you couldn't, the only thing I can say in that regard is do not let it eat you alive. Do not dwell on it too much. Learn what you did wrong. Learn from what you did wrong. And don't let it stop you from trying to do it again in the future. If every doctor failed after a wrong diagnosis, or if let me repeat, I messed up that statement. Let me try again. If every doctor quit after a wrong diagnosis, after a wrong prescription, after a wrong operation, or an operation gone wrong, if a doctor quit after every failure that they had, or the first failure that they had, we probably wouldn't have a lot of doctors. The same can be said with lawyers, as much as I don't like lawyers, but they are technically a necessary evil. The same can be said with cops. I know a lot of people don't have a high opinion of cops, but focus on the ones that actually are trying to do good. The shitty ones need to go, beginning and end of it. The shitty cops need to go. The shitty cops who aren't doing their jobs to save lives and serve the lives that they're supposed to be protecting need to go, period. Beginning and end of it. The people who are actually trying to do good and save people's lives, they need to stay. The people who aren't doing their jobs need to go. The people who are doing their jobs need to stay. I feel like I messed that up somehow. Anyways, that's the issue with today's day and age. We focus too much on bringing down people who fail, and we put people who succeed too high on a pedestal. I'm not saying don't acknowledge the people who succeed. What I am saying is don't give them $1 million paychecks just for winning a football game. I'm going to make so many people angry with that one. Not a fan of football, in my opinion. We pay those people way too much. Yes, they get concussions and stuff like that, but there is actual, like, scientific studies on how to make the game safer, and they are actively ignoring it. So I kind of have some justification in saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying the football players are ignoring it. I'm saying the federation itself is ignoring it. And I don't think that we should be paying the football players millionaire salaries just for winning some sports games. Like, I know it's football games, but like this is true for all athletes, in my opinion. Give them a proper life. Give them enough to have a proper lifestyle, if not a partially better lifestyle. But don't make it so that they are making 10 times what over half of their fan base is making in their lifetimes from one game. That's what I'm saying. But there's nothing wrong with praising success. There's nothing wrong with failing. Don't go to the extremes that we go to anymore. Try and be better. That's what I'm saying. That's what this video is supposed to be about. Anyways, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel that we can see more content like this in the future. Excuse me. And if you come back on the regular and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. It helps out a ton. I'm greatly appreciative if you do. And if you can share this video with your friends, your family, your favorite group of people who are trying their best and need a little bit of encouragement, I'd appreciate that as well. And as always, I will see you as we continue our adventures in Pokemon Violet, the Bug-type Gym Leader run. Y'all are beautiful. Thank you, and bye-bye.